What's up guys, it's Nico here back with another video. The Golden State Warriors are not dead, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, this trade was being talked about already as soon as Kevin Durant signed with the Nets, but I didn't want to believe it since it would just get my hopes up, but here we are. The Golden State Warriors just acquired point guard D'Angelo Russell in a sign-in trade with the Brooklyn Nets, wherein they will also receive Treveon and Shabazz Napier. According to Woj, Russell will sign for $117 million over 4 years, and I honestly believe that he could thrive with the system, especially with Klay Thompson being out for majority of the season. Out of nowhere, they were able to add another all-star to their roster whose style of play resembles Stephen Curry. On the other hand, Graham and Napier are two quality role players, but I don't think they'll solve the issue of the roster, which is perimeter defense or defense in general. The Warriors also had to let go of Andre Iguodala since this trade wouldn't happen if his huge salary is still on the books. Because of that trade, Golden State is really thin on the wings, and that's why we're going to look at 5 players the Warriors can possibly target if they want to fix their defense and their spacing. Before anything else, let's try to target 1,000 likes today, since that 1 second of your time greatly helps the channel and allows me to make more videos for you all. At number 5 is Thabo Sefolosha. Despite getting an all-star like D'Angelo Russell to the roster, losing Kevin Durant and Andre Iguodala in one off-season is still a major blow to the championship hopes of the Warriors if they do to intend to compete next season. There's also that huge void on the defensive end, so why not go for someone like Thabo Sefolosha? According to WarriorsWorld.net, the 6'7" swingman from Switzerland ranks 7th among small forwards with a 2.27 defensive real plus-minus. In those 2 short years with Utah, Sefolosha was able to put averages of 6 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal per game while making 40% of his 3-point shots. Despite only playing 17 minutes per game, Thabo was a net positive whenever he's on the floor. This past season, the Jazz outscored opponents by 8.6 points per 100 possessions whenever he was playing, and is an encouraging sign for the aging veteran. He still has the size, basketball IQ, and speed to keep up with how the Warriors do their defense, which is a switching style of defending. At 34 years old, the Warriors can't expect him to be their starting small forward for 30 to 35 minutes per game, but what fans can expect is that he is the kind of swingman that is automatic from beyond the arc when left open and can still take on defensive assignments on the best offensive talents in the league. He's a good filler at the 3 spot and can most likely play 18 to 20 minutes in order to lessen the chances of an injury, and so that he'll be fresh by the time the playoffs rolls around. Ultimately, Golden State's interest in Sefolosha may really well depend on which other free agents they might sign, since he won't be a priority but more of a plan B or even a plan C. If defensive versatility is still a need, then he's definitely worth a look. At number 4 is Wilson Chandler. Wilson Chandler is one of the few journeymen in the NBA and also one of the top defenders. Expect Wilson Chandler to get a call from the Golden State Warriors as they look for quality 3-and-D role players. At 32 years old, it's shocking to see that he hasn't been past the first round of the playoffs yet. So obviously the Warriors might be the team for him in order to break that bad streak of his. With the way things are going, he can only be signed by the vet minimum, but I don't think that will be a factor for him since he'll be able to receive playing time in San Francisco and be able to jack up his numbers. Just 3 years ago, he was one of the most dependable swingmen in the league and was able to average 15 points per game during the 2016-2017 season. Last season with the Clippers, he was able to put up averages of 6 points, 4.2 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 42% from the field, and 37% from beyond the arc. Far from the numbers he used to put up, but that reliable shot from deep and defense will be beneficial to the Warriors lineup. If his price tag is just under $6 million, that gives Golden State the green light to run after his services. He can switch on to smaller or larger players and is a more dependable and confident 3-point threat than Alfonso McKinney brought to the team last year. Players like Chandler are usually targets for championship contenders who are already maxed out, so the Warriors need to act fast if they want to bring him in. At number 3 is JaMychal Green. JaMychal Green is a huge wing with measurements of 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan, and at 29 years old and in the peak of his prime, he's perfectly capable of playing and defending multiple positions. He's one of the Clippers players that I came to admire during the playoff series with the Warriors since he was able to keep up with most of the all-star forwards on defense and was able to hurt the team from the 3-point line. Green is the ultimate example of quality big man option for contending teams needing to fill out their rosters with limited cap space. It's really hard to find two-way role players who can play either the power forward spot or the center without sacrificing much in the way of speed or size. Ironically enough, he reminds me of a bigger Draymond Green, to be honest. For those who don't know much about him, Green's best assets is that he's a great rebounder who knows where to position himself around the rim, and a reliable defender capable of chasing some of the wings in the NBA, as well as bang bodies in the post against the big men of the league. In his previous season with the Clippers, Green was able to put up 9.4 points, 6.3 rebounds, shot 48% from the field, and made 40% of his threes on a decent number of attempts. His minutes increased in the playoffs as well because of how versatile he was and performed even better despite the added pressure. His scoring output jumped up to 11 points per game, while his field goal percentage went up to 55% and his 3-point percentage went up to 52%. I'm not sure if he'll be commanding more money, but if the Warriors can make it work with trading for D'Angelo, then I'm sure they'll have another trick up their sleeve to sign JaMychal Green. At number 2 is Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews isn't at Kevin Durant's level on either end of the floor, but he would offer reliable defense and 3-point shooting that should come close to what Danny Green provides for the Toronto Raptors. And with the Warriors' 2019-2020 season looking a bit like the year where they're not the favorites after a 5-year dominant dynasty, it would make sense to slot in a relatively low-cost veteran like Matthews rather than invest in a long-term option at the small forward spot. Matthews is already 32 years old and not getting any faster as the years go by, but he's still a career 38.2% shooter from deep who can be trusted to defend both wings as well. Last season with the Indiana Pacers, he was able to put up 12.2 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 40% from the field, and 37% from 3 in 30 minutes per game. His role on the Warriors will be exactly the same as the one in Indiana, if not more, since there's no one more capable in the roster who can start over him at the 3 spot. Overall, Matthews is a short-term option at best and would give the team some stability on the perimeter for at least the next year or so. And at number 1 is Kevon Looney. As a Warriors fan, one thing for certain is that I want Golden State to resign Kevon Looney this offseason without a doubt. This is a player who has grown slowly but steadily ever since being drafted 30th just 3 years ago, but has now evolved into a player who has become the most dependable in the center spot and often outplaying DeMarcus Cousins in last year's playoffs. I'm not saying that he'll ever be as good as Cousins, but Looney has a great basketball IQ and knows the system really well. That's why he's been thriving as a player and also receiving offers from other competitors such as the Rockets. In his last season with the Dubs, Looney averaged a career-high 6.3 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 18.5 minutes per game. The 4-year player also played in 80 regular season games for the Warriors and 21 postseason contests wherein he played with a fractured collarbone. He was grimacing in pain every possession, and you just know that he earned the respect of the players and fans for his commitment to help out his team. Lastly, Steve Kerr called Looney a foundational piece and has repeatedly vouched for the big man every chance he could. The Warriors are determined to at least match or exceed any offer Looney receives in the open market in order to retain him and bring him back for the foreseeable future. Out of all the targets here, who do you want the Warriors to get? Let me know in the comment section below and I'll check it out when I see it. As always, if you enjoy watching more content like this, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and we will meet again. For everyone who subscribed already, I just want to say thanks again for the continuous support, and if you have any video suggestions, hit me up in the comment section. This is Pacific Hoops, signing off.